Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Total Annihilation. I am your host, Nerus,
And this is Brooklyn Bruiser.
and this is Arm Mission 6. Arm Mission 6 is a Galactic Gate mission. You start off, well, one of the mission comes after a Galactic Gate mission, and like most Galactic Gate missions, it starts you off with the Galactic Gate, the commander, and a bunch of enemy units around you. Fortunately, in this case, the enemy units are AKs, so not very threatening.
Yeah.
In an earlier take, I actually captured all four of them and then used them to run around the island and kill off some of the enemies which are hanging around. Capturing all four of them almost killed my commander, but he was okay with it.
Wow.
Yeah. This map is our first mission on Barathrum, and it introduces our water naval stuff. And the first of those you can see me building there is the tidal generator. And the reason I'm building tidal generators is because, as you can see here, they produce 35 energy on this map.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah! When I found that out, I was like, wow, I knew that on all the naval maps they made tidal generators fairly powerful, but I didn't realize they did it to quite that extent.
Yeah.
Tides, like winds, vary from map to map. Unlike wind, however, tides are constant. And in general, tides are actually, worth using, whereas wind isn't.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a tidal generator that would be worse than a solar collector. They're usually, on the same level or better.
It does happen. A lot of the lake maps, I mean, not all of them, but there's at least one lake map where tidal generators produce only 5 energy, as I discovered, much to my dismay. Since I usually like using tidal generators when available as early game energy, because they're typically as good or better than solar collectors. And I was quite upset to discover that was not the case on that map.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, this is kind of a long mission, due to the fact that it's the first armed naval mission, and naval units take forever to build.
Yeah, they really do.
The naval units are really, really powerful. Like, the destroyer, the basic naval attack unit, has a freaking Guardian plasma battery, and depth charges, and sonar, and ludicrous amounts of health. But that strength is definitely balanced out by their cost.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as a result of the fact that this is the first map introducing Navy, so it's kind of a small map, there's not a whole lot of metal, which means you don't really have enough resources to really get ship production flowing. So it takes a while to build up a Navy.
Yeah. Well, at least you have plenty of trees to burn to entertain yourself while you're trying to build the Navy.
Yes, as we saw, I don't think I've actually mentioned that in the LP yet, but as we just saw right at the start there, forest fires can happen. And if you're paying attention to the Galactic Gate's health bar, you'll notice that forest fires do indeed damage units standing underneath trees. It's usually not relevant, it's one of those neat little features that TA doesn't really use all that often, but every now and then there are a few maps where there are sufficiently large chunks of dense forest that it is actually worthwhile to use as a tactic. Plus it does look cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I've ever used it as a tactic, but a lot of times I'll preemptively burn the forests around my base just because it looks cool.
I'm a bit saddened that Supreme Commander didn't have forest fires, actually. I was disappointed in that.
Yeah, I still haven't played Supreme Commander. I keep meaning to, but I haven't gotten around to it.
It is definitely a worthy successor to TA. There are huge improvements, and, I mean, not everything came along, and there were a few hiccups along the way, but it is certainly significantly better. And of course, we've got Planetary Annihilation looming on the horizon, which
that looks
excellent.
incredible.
It does. The other thing about this map that's important to mention is that this is the first map where we really start to see what I like to call computer bullshit, or AI bullshit. And Cave Dog were really fond of their AI bullshit. They've been holding off on their AI bullshit for a while because it was the early missions and they're supposed to be easy. But pretty soon they're going to get into full-fledged, complete AI bullshit, and this is the first map that really exemplifies that. And my reasoning for this is actually really simple. The AI starts off with 3 fleets in this map, 2 fleets of missile cruisers, destroyers, and Tier 1 subs, and 1 fleet of subs and destroyers.
Wow.
The 2 missile cruiser fleets, there's one on the far left side of the map and one on the far top of the map, and they are basically scripted reservoirs of units. Yeah, so it's got like some scout ships and some subs scattered around as well, as you can see on my radar. There's some stuff hanging about. The 2 big missile fleet ships basically at certain points in the game, at certain times during the game, ships from that fleet will sort of break off and come and start attacking you. Eventually a missile cruiser will start bombarding me, which annoys me every single time.
Yeah, those things are really annoying.
But that's not the AI bullshit. The AI bullshit is in the 3rd fleet, the fleet of destroyers and subs. Because, as you can see here, you start on this sort of C-shaped island. And the only safe place to actually build any naval structures in this is this part in the middle of the island, because there are subs patrolling along the north, west, and south borders of the island.
Oh boy.
And I mean that is kind of bullshit, but it's still not. This is not the real bullshit. Is in the positioning of that 3rd fleet, that fleet of destroyers and subs, because that fleet is positioned right on the right edge of the screen.
Oh boy.
Just off my map. In fact, it's literally like just outside my radar. There are about, I think, 3 or 4 destroyers and 2 subs just chilling right there. And if you go out and attack them, they will come into this harbour and beat you senseless. And we will be seeing a lot more of that as we go through the game. There are numerous missions later on where if you put one wrong foot in the wrong place at the wrong time, the AI will bitch slap you down.
Yeah, that's one of my abiding memories of the game. Is just, like on 5 different missions, just sending a little scout out and then, oh my god, here comes everything.
Normally it's not too bad because usually you're dealing with land stuff, so you can build up a reasonable army relatively quickly, and it's not until the very final missions that it really becomes an issue. But unfortunately with the naval maps, because your basic a naval attack unit, the destroyer, takes so long to build. I mean, look, you can see me building 2, and they're just taking fucking forever. Yeah. It takes a while. You pretty much have to do what I'm doing here, which is sort of sit here and just build destroyers until you've got about half a dozen of them, because if you venture outside of this atoll before you've got half a dozen destroyers, you're going to say goodbye to those destroyers.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned some of the other naval units I've built here, and I'll mention some of the others when I actually build them. The Skeeter, the scout ship. You saw some of the core versions right at the start, sort of sitting in the water, shooting you. Scout ships have little pathetic AK lasers, and they also have a guided missile launcher, a SAM, so to speak. But of course, being TA, it can hit whatever the hell it feels like. And this is another dick move by Cave Dog. They give you geothermal power plants, they give you a geothermal vent, but you can't build anything on the vent.
Wow. That is impressively dickish.
Yeah, I actually remembered that on this map, but I thought maybe I misremembered it because, I was a kid. But when I went up to check this there, I was like, no, you really cannot put a geothermal plant on this geothermal vent that they give you right after they give you the geothermal power plants in the first place. It's like... And this map would benefit from a geothermal power plant.
Yeah. Wow, that is, like... I almost have to applaud that. That is so dickish.
And at this point, you may have noticed that construction units produce a tiny amount of resources. The construction K-bots, I think, produce 0.3 metal and, 8 energy. And since I don't have any way to further increase my production, and I'm making slightly more metal than I need to keep those 2 shipyards producing destroyers indefinitely. I decide to just start producing a shit ton of K-bots.
Well, it works.
It's something to keep me occupied. I mean, like I said, at this point I'm just really bored because I'm sitting here going, yep, when I've got a fleet it's going to become interesting, but how about that war game? Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, this mission is a lot more fun when you're playing it for the first time and you don't know that there are fleets out there to bitch slap you.
It's a lot shorter, certainly.
Yeah, I remember the first time that I played it, I didn't know that the fleets were out there to bitch slap me. So I went out just a bit too far, and they came in to bitch slap me, and it took me about 20 minutes to barely survive and fight them off.
Yeah, that's the first time I played this mission. Oh look, I've just discovered the F1 function. As was mentioned in the thread, you can mouse over a unit and press F1, you get this little pop-up which tells you its cost and its velocity, acceleration, etc. And look at the absurd cost on the Galactic Gate.
Damn.
That's 213,000 metal. Like, there's a statue, like there's a special commander statue in the urban tile set that's added in core contingency, which is worth 90,000 metal. I thought that was literally the most that was the most expensive thing in the entire game, but no, the Galactic Gates have got that beat.
That is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Now I can't build storages, but my swarms of construction K-bots is actually slowly increasing my storage, and I've got nothing better to do, so I just decided to reclaim the Galactic Gate for the hell of it. It takes a while. As you can see, that health bar's not moving.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even... I played this game for most of my childhood, and I didn't know about the F1 function, so...
Yes, TA's got a lot of, like, it's got all these little shortcuts and stuff, which I used to know by heart, but I don't remember it all anymore. It'll let you do all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah, I still remember a few of them, but not many.
And yes, the first time I did this map, I sort of tend to be a bit of a turtle player, so like, I know, especially when I was a kid, I used to like to build this huge, unstoppable force and just roll across the AI. So when I did this map, I didn't venture really far, like I sort of did what I'm doing now. But at the time, I thought that scout ships were like normal attack units, and the destroyers were like the big heavy guys. So I built like 20 scout ships, and then I saw how long destroyers took to build, and I was like, oh, okay, these are like super units. So I built like 2 of those, and I was like, yeah, I got this huge fleet of 20 scout ships and 2 destroyers, and I went outside, and oh boy, that was quick.
Oh, man. Yeah. I wasn't much of a turtle player when I was playing this as a kid, but the experience with maps like this made me a turtle player.
Yes. Total Annihilation, certainly in the later missions especially, definitely encourages you to sit back and take it slow at the start.
Yeah. Because otherwise you will be bitch slapped, and you will not like it.
It's not even necessarily turtle, because in a lot of cases you can actually quite happily sit there and not build any defenses at all. But you need to be careful about what AI triggers you trigger. Because some of those triggers you really don't want to have anything to do with until you've got a serious force on your hands.
Yeah. Man, that Galactic Gate has taken a long time to reclaim.
Oh yeah. It's almost as long as these destroyers are taking to build. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'll mention it now since it's going to become relevant soon. Oh, that poor scout ship. In fact, it's about to become relevant. Oh, yeah, here we go. I'm just about to open up the Catalyst Control Center. I accidentally right-clicked on the wrong place. So now I've got 6 destroyers, and I decide it's time to attack. I mean, 6 destroyers, that can't be too bad. And oh god, there's 2 subs, 4 destroyers, and 2 subs, 3 subs, and 4 destroyers.
Oh boy.
And that was just sitting there waiting for me the entire fucking time.
Wow. Jesus
And
Christ.
yeah, at that point I'm like, wow, fuck this. I'm going home.
Yeah, can't blame you for that one.
And now to explain the submarines that we just saw. Subs are submarines, obviously, they're underwater. They can only be seen by other submarines, because units that are underwater have a very short water sight radius, how far they can see in water. It's really tiny, and it's usually completely irrelevant. The more common way and more effective way to see subs is with sonar, which sonar is basically exactly like radar, except it works on ships instead of anything else. Radar can pick up surface ships, and sonar will also pick up surface ships, but sonar will not pick up land units or flying units, and radar will not pick up underwater units. My commander is wandering around underwater, as you can see.
Yeah, radar not picking up underwater units is usually very handy in Total Annihilation.
It is. It makes small puddles of water potential ambush points for amphibious units.
Yeah.
Which is actually which can be incredibly potent with a core player, because the core have access to the GIMP, which is a really powerful K-bot, although kind of slow. But
Yeah.
unlike it's the core amphibious K-bot, and unlike the Pelican, which is the ARM counterpart, the GIMP actually goes underwater, which means if you're feeling like amusing yourself, you can stash them all over the place.
Yeah, I'm after a few of those multiplayer games, I'm still at the point where any mention of pelicans makes me want to hurt somebody. Yeah, fucking pelicans.
Tell you what, I'm getting a bit sick and tired of all these bloody destroyers.
Yeah, can't blame you.
But I think I've finally taken out the fleet. As you can see, we have gained access to no new advanced K-bots at all this mission, only ships. I don't know why they even let you build the advanced K-bot lab.
Yeah, that's...
Oh look, another destroyer. What a surprise.
Yeah, I'm shocked. I
See what I mean about destroyers being tough?
Yeah, I do like that even though not all of your units can see them, if they're getting shot at, they can shoot back.
Yes, and I believe Core Contingency, or maybe Battle Tactics, added a special Tech 2 building, the targeting facility, which consumes a fuck ton of energy but causes units to automatically acquire targets they can see on radar.
Yeah, that was Core Contingency.
It's extremely useful in the late
Yes,
stages of the
it
game.
really is.
Because there are... Well, more importantly, I think pretty much every unit in the game almost can fire further than it can fire further than it can see. But
Yeah.
more importantly, there are a lot of mobile artillery units can't actually outrange a lot of stationary artilleries. It's like the Guardian, for example, outranges almost everything that's mobile. And so if that Guardian auto-acquires targets... Speaking of Guardians, look what just got destroyed. That Guardian auto-acquires targets, they become substantially more powerful.
Yeah.
Look, here we go. 2 destroyers.
Oh, man.
And check the mini-map. There's a few more!
Yeah.
And my I'm like, oh, holy shit, my commander's in the middle of this. I'm going to walk away now. No, wait, I'm okay, because the destroyers decided to just sit down there and not murder my commander.
That's very good of them.
It is, I was quite happy about that. I was genuinely worried, because if those destroyers had all come in there, they would have opened up on my commander with, oh god.
Oh shit, subs.
Yeah. And, as you just saw by the rate at which those subs tore through that torpedo launcher, sub-torpedoes do a metric fuck-ton of damage.
Yeah.
They don't... The Tech 1 sub-torpedoes don't track targets, and the Hunter-Killer subs, which are the Tech 2 subs, do much less damage. But if those Tech 1 subs, if they can hit something, they will just tear massive chunks out of it. And a big, slow commander walking along underwater, damn easy target.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing about subs. They move at a snail's pace, and they don't shoot very fast, but when they hit, holy shit.
Yes. Subs are very much sneaky stealth units.
Yeah, there's nothing... there are a few things that feel as good as pulling off a submarine ambush.
Oh, and it's just the huge chunks that those sub-torpedoes take out of anything, even commander health bars.
Yeah.
They just take these massive chunks out of it. It's just so satisfying to watch those huge blobs of health just vanish from a commander, which is normally, a fairly tough opponent.
Yeah.
And there goes my torpedo launcher, because more core subs have decided to come down and play.
So,
and
metal
now we can
tracker?
see the now we can see the handiwork of that missile ship I was talking about.
Oh yeah. Ouch.
Yeah. That missile ship is scripted to, at this point in the map, come from, I believe, the left fleet, move up to that top left position, and bombard those 3 metal extractors, and then move down the coast a bit and start bombarding the bottom 2 metal extractors. And it is also scripted to, if you try and rebuild the 3 metal extractors, to redestroy them.
So basically it's scripted to be a giant dick.
Yes. More AI bullshit. So long as that missile... See? There it goes, taking out another one. As long as that missile ship is there, I cannot have metal extractors.
Wow.
My response to this is... Normally my response to this would be send my fleet of destroyers around the island to murder its face off, but my fleet of destroyers is kind of a bit battered right now, and the top fleet, although it is right along the top edge of the map, the top fleet is kind of a bit aggro. So I don't really want to send my fleet round there until I've got about at least 9 or so healthy destroyers to take it out.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I've decided to build Fidos.
Why?
In the meantime, I'm going to decoy the missile ship by just constantly rebuilding those 3 metal extractors. My swarm of construction K-bots is paying off.
Yeah. And at least you've got plenty of you've got plenty of sunken ships to reclaim.
Yes, keeping my metal up. That is the one saving grace of this map, because ships are such high metal costs. Once you've actually gotten started, you've got enough metal to keep you going pretty much indefinitely.
Yeah.
And I think I'm about to just head up and show you why I decided to build a couple of Fidos.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yep, there we go. I've had enough of this missile ship, and that's why I built Fidos. Because the missile ship is really close to the coast. It will always sit close to the coast. It has to be in order to hit, because the only way it can hit the metal extractors is to get it in its radar, and it has really short-range radar.
Okay.
And one Fido is just about a match for a missile ship. The missile ships fire homing missiles, which don't do a whole lot of damage. But the Fido is just tough enough.
Very nice. That's one thing that I like about TA, which is that the AI will be a colossal dick a lot of the time, but at least he has to obey radar.
Yes, I thought on hard that the AI might actually cheat with radar, but it doesn't seem to.
That's good. Because if it did, you'd be really fucked.
I know the skirmish AI cheats a little bit with radar in that it has full radar coverage, but it doesn't auto-acquire targets on radar until it's built a targeting facility. Although that apparently in the original game that script was actually bugged, and the AI targeting facilities do nothing, which doesn't stop the AI from just building 10 or 20 of them.
Yeah, that's always fun when you see the AI build like 15 of a building you really only need one of.
That is the, I guess that's why it's okay that the AI can cheat a bit, because it really is retarded.
Fucking stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. And here we have CWCTA's pathfinding in action. That destroyer managed to hit both of the destroyers in its way. Both of them.
Yeah.
I expected it to hit the first destroyer, but when I moved the screen back over there and saw that it had run right into the second one as well, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, even more than the amount of time and resources it costs to build ships, the pathfinding is the main reason I don't really build them that much.
Ships have very, very wide turning circles.
Yeah, huh?
And on open water maps, it's not so much an issue, but in tight quarters, yeah, it can result in some really impressive traffic jams.
Yeah.
It is also really, 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 really important to always have open water deep enough for a ship to go in directly below your shipyard. Because as you can see, shipyards build things facing down, and while there is no water directly below the shipyard, the ship can turn around and go out the back, but it takes
a long time.
Ages. I've gotten bored at this point, so I've just decided to build a bunch of light laser towers.
I love light laser towers.
I've got all this metal, and I'm looking at these destroyers and thinking, this should be about enough to deal with the enemy fleet. So off we go. And you'll note that I haven't stopped destroyer production, and that's because I'm pretty sure that this will be about enough to destroy one fleet, but probably not enough to take them both down. I'm kind of wondering where all the enemy units have gone at this point, because I expected the attacks to be more constant.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, as you'll see when I go around and attack the fleets, the AI has access to a huge reserve of ships.
I'm looking forward to it.
There we go, 2 destroyers just ploughed straight into a reef. I really want to sort of point out to those destroyers that not only do they have sonar and thus can easily see a reef incoming, but they could see the reef like visually as well, and reefs don't tend to sort of jump around or move or really do anything, so what the hell?
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Normally the ship pathfinding against stationary stuff is alright, but I have to say it does have its moments.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure the top fleet is out of reach of that Guardian, and oh dear. Now you can see that. See what I was saying earlier about taking chunks out of a commander?
Yeah.
I am unbelievably lucky that snake, I think it's called, the core subs are called snakes, decided to go down south to that torpedo launcher. Because if it hadn't, I would have just lost the game right there.
Yeah, that would have been problematic.
So I at this point, I'm like, holy fucking shit, I need to end this now. So here's our first fleet. 1 missile ship, 2 destroyers, another missile ship. I think this is where most of the core forces come from. As you can see, that wasn't a whole lot. I was expecting a little bit more. In fact, I'm expecting another missile ship, which I'm about to find. There it is. Good Guardian. Good Guardian.
Yeah, missile ships are actually my favorite ship to build. They're a
Missile
lot of
ships
fun.
are... I believe they're the longest range mobile unit in the game, and they are intensely irritating.
That's why I like building them.
At the moment, I'm just burning time while I wait for my fleet to actually get to the part where the enemy is. Because, as you can see on the mini-map, some of those destroyers were having to take the long way.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is the last core fleet. I'm not gonna say anything for now. I just want you to watch just how fucking huge this fleet is.
Wow. Oh dear.
Now, unless I'm mistaken, that was a sub, half a dozen destroyers, and a missile ship.
Yeah, that's about right. Actually, I think there might have been 2 missile ships. Oh, video's over.
Yes, that was the end. Yeah, and the core start off with, 2 of those fleets, and some stuff extra.
Jesus Christ.
It will only get worse from here on out, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Night.